Yo guys, what's going on? Got a fun video for you guys today featuring the two new starter decks coming out for the BT6 format. So we got Gallantmon as well as Ulforce Digimon. So these deck lists that you are seeing are comprised entirely of cards from those starter decks. So basically, if you pick up two Gallantmon starter decks, you can put together a somewhat decent list, like I don't want to say a competitive list, but it can definitely do some stuff, right? So this is like basically two times Gallantmon starter deck and two times Ulforce starter deck over here. So basically these decks are revolved around, of course, their respective boss monsters. So Ulforce Digimon here, when Digivolving you get to return a level 4 lower Digimon to the hand, which is really nice because that does include a lot of blockers as well. And then if you've got 8 or more cards in your hand, you can unsuspend this dude when attacking. This blue deck revolves a lot around like having 8 or more cards in your hand. So there's lots of cards that like have that kind of stipulation. So Arrow Digimon, if you have 8 or more, he gets security attack +1, and then he just has a base like jamming, like he himself has jamming. So which is actually really nice because you can like swing with Arrow Digimon and then like go into Ulforce and or potentially like unsuspend with something like Victory Sword, which I think is a really cool option card, but this deck definitely lacks like removal. You've got V-Wing Blade here, which returns level 6 or lower Digimon to the hand, which is pretty nice. Effectively like a better Cocytus Breath in most situations. So this is a really nice security effect. Maybe if you're just playing this like pure version, you could like max out on this. But I think definitely the better option cards here are Hammer Spark, of course, just a generic +1 memory, and then Blue Memory Boost being not only a delay option card where you can gain memory, but then just being able to search out any piece you may need, maybe your level 6s or 4s or 5s or anything that you might be missing, is extremely nice. And then the kind of rookie lineup here is pretty normal, I'd say, but the really cool guys, I would say, are Dracomon and Vmon. Vmon allowing you to warp straight into Ulforce if you meet the condition of your opponent having a 6 or higher Digimon. So this is a really cool kind of counterpick to level 6s we've seen with stuff like Ty and Matt. That card is very widely played because it is so powerful. So it's pretty, it's not that unreasonable to ask that your opponent has a 6 or higher on field. So that's really nice, has a cool inherited effect. And then Dracomon here is basically your searcher of the deck. Search out any Drummon from your, like, you reveal top 3. So it can search out Core Dramon, V Dramon, Wing Dramon, Ulforce, Slayer Dramon, who, by the way, also is a kind of hard hitter in the sense that he has a security attack +1, but he also is an unblockable Digimon. So we haven't really seen much play from like unblockable Digimon. I think the only real like meta kind of card is like Alter S, but maybe you can cheese some people with that. I think that's pretty sick. And then as far as the Gallantmon starter deck, this deck, I think if I would say which one's better, I would definitely think the Gallantmon one is better for a couple of reasons. One, I just think the boss monster is better. Gallantmon himself, security attack +1 for 3 evolutions, nice. Ulforce is a 4, which is kind of like terrible. And then not only that, but he has the one attacking delete something with 4,000 or less, or otherwise he gains 3,000. So that is really nice. Not only could you, either get rid of a Digimon on your opponent's side of the field, but you can also pump him up to like 14,000, and then that's not even including stuff like Gigimon or Agumon, which can boost him even higher. And then of course you've got stuff like Greymon too, who I think is a really, really nice security Digimon. Oh, and Ulforce has Core Dramon as well. These cards are really fantastic. So they're both security Digimon, where Core Dramon lets you trigger draw 2. You just play him from security for free, draw 2 cards. But then Greymon lets you delete something with 4,000 or lower. So this deck really revolves around just blowing up your opponent's cards, and then gaining advantage off of it with stuff like Guillemon, drawing a card. Growlmon lets you gain a memory, which I think is fantastic. War Growlmon gives you security attack +1, which is just really, really crazy. And then you've got your hard hitters like Gallantmon as well as Shine Greymon, who also has piercing, by the way. And then I just think the option cards here are much better. Of course, you got your own memory boost card. Every color basically has these. So red memory boost is the same as the blue one, except that, searches red Digimon. But then, of course, I think Gaia Force and Atomic Blaster are just such good cards. Like, Gaia Force is arguably one of the best removal cards in the game. And then Atomic Blaster is really, really nice, being able to potentially potentially get rid of a level 5 for a 5 cost, or like something like 2 level 3s and 4s, that can be really, really powerful. So basically you can spread that over, you know, a total of 8,000 DP, which is really nice. But yeah, I think these decks are really, really solid. Now, the only real thing you're missing, I feel like, is like to make this a coherent deck, is just blockers. Well, the Ulforce one does actually have the Wingdramon here, who is a level 5 blocker, in which case you might want to, I don't know, change these numbers a little bit. So you might want to play more of him if you do get the Ulforce starter deck. But as far as the Gallantmon starter deck, unfortunately, this doesn't actually come with any sort of blockers, which I guess is fine, because this is more of an offensive deck. You're revolving around Gallantmon here, who's got security attack +1, and the same thing with Shine Greymon, just hitting your opponent for multiple security checks and getting rid of any problematic Digimon with stuff like Gaia Force and Atomic Blaster. But yeah, guys, so those are the lists. Let's go ahead and see which of these decks can come out on top. I'm going to be putting them against each other, so let's go ahead and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and start. You see my opening hand is pretty decent here. I do have the Gallantmon as well as Growlmon, as well as the Dark Tyrannamon. So just going to go ahead and Digivolve a couple times and draw some cards. So I've got a pretty decent evolution stack, not only the Digimon, but also the Gallantmon and Growlmon. So anytime I kill one of my opponent's Digimon, I'm just going to get a bunch of effects. My opponent will start by hatching the Demi Vmon and then Digivolving into his own signature rookie. So we see the Vmon over there, and then we see a Hammer Spark played for 0, allowing my opponent to gain 1 memory, going to 3, and then a blue memory boost is going to be played for 3, putting him back at 0, revealing the top 4 cards of the deck and allowing him to add any one of those blue Digimons to his hand. So we can, you know, see the level 3 as well as the level 4 and 5 there. So we are going to see the Cordramon added to the hand. Potentially giving him the ability to just evolve straight into the breeding area for a cost of 2, which is really nice. But we're actually just going to see the Cordramon played for a memory cost of 6, allowing my opponent to draw 2 cards on play, which is really, really nice. I think that card is really fantastic. Unfortunately, it's not the best to just hard play from hand, but seeing it in security is amazing. I think it's going to be really powerful in the upcoming meta. So I'm just going to bring out my Growlmon, and unfortunately, I do not have a level 5 in hand. It would be really, really perfect, because then I could go like War Growlmon or Groundmon for, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 memory cost, and then go into something like a Shine Greymon or a Gallantmon, and then just start swinging at his security. But I think maybe it's okay to just hard play one of them, because I was given 6 memory from the Cordramon there. So if I play a Shine Greymon or Gallantmon, I'll be putting my opponent at either 5 or 6. So I'm just going to hard play Gallantmon from my hand for a cost of 11, putting my opponent to 5. Gallantmon does not do anything on play or on Digivolve or anything like that, but he does put pressure on your opponent because he is a security attack +1 Digimon as well. He does have the potential to just get rid of like level 3s and level 4s because he kills something with 4,000 or lower. Otherwise, he does gain 3,000 DP. So that's really nice. My opponent is just going to bring out the Vmon, and he does have the potential of just going straight into Ulforce Vdramon, since I did just throw down a level 6 Digimon on field. So my opponent is going to pop the blue memory boost, go to 4, and then Digivolve the Slayer Dramon on top of that Arrow Vdramon we are going to see. So he also does have 7 cards in hand, not quite the 8 you need for the security attack +1 from the Arrow Vdramon, but now we are going to see the Gorillamon evolve for 1. My opponent will draw his card and potentially see an attack from the Slayer Dramon here. First, we're going to see the Gorillamon attack, putting my opponent at exactly 8 cards. As we saw, he had 7, but then now Vmon is going to let him draw a card, and then since he is at 8, Slayer Dramon will now check 3 security cards, I believe, because he inherently has security attack +1, and then Arrow Vdramon Digimon gives him another security check as well. So, yep, so he gains security attack +1 the turn you evolve him, so he will be checking 3 cards total. However, he does hit a Gallantmon in security, so he's going to be stopped on the second security check because they both are 11,000 DP. That is super fortunate for me, being able to just get rid of my opponent's threat like that. And then finally, we're going to see a Dracomon played for 3 memory, allowing my opponent to reveal the top 3 and add any Dramon. So we are going to see the V-Dramon going to hand, and then the rest go to the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to start with 3, and I think I'm in a pretty okay position because my Gallantmon did survive. And then I've, unfortunately don't really have any other plays aside from that, but we can do something here. So I'm going to swing with Gallantmon, and then when attacking, I can delete something with 4,000 or less. So then I'm going to attack the Gorillamon and then delete the Dracomon. So essentially clearing his whole field. And then since one of my opponent's Digimon is deleted, I get to draw 1 card, and then Gigimon gives the Growlmon plus 2,000 DP. Unfortunately, that doesn't help too much because my hand is still pretty terrible. 3 Shine Greymons and a couple of level 4s is not the best. I'm just going to go ahead, swing with Growlmon. And unfortunately for me, we are going to see a V Wingblade in security, just being able to bounce back my level 6 Digimon straight to hand. So at this point, I might just hard play Gallantmon again and put my opponent at 8. It seemed to work last time, so let's try it again. He's got a clear field, so I'm not too extremely worried, especially because we did see a V-Wingblade in security. It's a little bit unlikely that he's going to use another one, but yeah, I mean, you never know. So we'll see. My opponent is going to Digivolve the Dracomon in the breeding area, and with 8 memory, he can do quite a lot. So then we're going to see a Gorillamon Digivolved for 1. Which is really nice. I really think it's cool how the starter deck comes with not only some of the really new and good powerful Gallantmon Ulforce support, but a lot of the old vanillas like Gorillamon, Groundramon, Monodramon, all those sorts of cards that are still very, very playable. Then we're going to see an Arrow Vidramon and then a Dracomon played for 3, revealing the top 3, and my opponent will most likely add, the Slayer Dramon is the only target. That's going to go to hand, and then the Vmons will go at the bottom, which is perfectly fine by me. That means my opponent is not going to be drawing a bunch of free cards anytime soon, nor will he be able to warp with the Vmon, so that is really nice for me. And then finally, we're going to see a Cordramon played for 6, allowing my opponent to just draw 2 more cards, which is really, really fantastic. So then I'm going to be able to draw and unsuspend my Digimon, and finally drew into a level 3 that I can actually just evolve over. So I'll be able to evolve my Gigimon, and now I've got the full evolution line in hand. I've got level 4s and 5s and 6s as well. So I'm just going to maybe swing with the Gallantmon. Nope. First, we're going to see the War Growlmon Digivolved for 3. War Growlmon also has a nice one attacking effect where you can just delete something with 3,000 DP or lower. So that also lets me just kill the Dracomon, which is super nice. So I'm going to swing security, delete the Dracomon, and then he will also get, +1 memory, I believe, and then draw 1 card, and then plus 2,000 DP. Yep, so all of those effects go to +1 memory, draw a card, and then War Growlmon will be at 10,000 right now, which is pretty big. The only thing that could really kill him is, of course, an Ulforce Vidramon. So, of course, I'm going to run into that insecurity. War Growlmon is going to die. It might have been better just to go ahead and Digivolve into Shine Greymon or something, but now I'm going to attack with Gallantmon, security attack +1, and since nothing dies, he will go to 14,000, and then of course we're going to see a Hammer Spark, and then finally a Gorillamon as well. This security is just absolutely stacked. Like, what is even going on, man? It's just crazy. And then with 1 memory left, there's not a whole lot of ideal plays I can do. Maybe probably just like Digivolve the Dark Tyrannomon and then go War Growlmon, or potentially just leaving my opponent in 1 and Digivolving the Geo Greymon would also be pretty decent. Or I could just get rid of the potential for multiple attacks by Gaia forcing his Cordramon, putting him to 7. But if he's got the Slayer Dramon, so that would be 2 checks, which is fine. but if he's got Ulforce, that might be game because he'd be able to attack for 2 checks the first time and then swing again for game. So I think here I'm just going to Digivolve the Dark Tyrannomon and then drew into Monodramon, which is super clutch, giving my opponent 2 instead of 3. So now if he wants to go Slayer Dramon, he will have to have a Hammer Spark to do so without passing turn, which is just really fantastic. So that was extremely lucky. That last Monodramon draw, I think, was pretty significant. Also allows me to guarantee lethal, because even if he does something like V Wingblade, bounces back one of my Digimon, I'll still have 2 attacks left to close out the game. So we're going to see the Arrow V-Dramon attack. He does actually have jamming, meaning he won't die to security. Not that it's going to matter in that specific instant, but we're going to see the Core Dramon swing as well, and then that is going to hit a Ground Dramon. Both are 6,000 DP, so that is going to die. And then we are going to see I believe that is the blocker played for 7, so that is Wingdramon, that is his name. So he's a level 5 blocker. My opponent does have the blocker as well as 1 security, but I do have 3 attacks, so it is just not going to be enough. I'm going to swing security with Gallantmon. That's going to hit an Ulforce. I'm going to die. Actually, no, because Gallantmon does gain 3,000, which is really nice. Well, not that it would matter either way, but I'm just going to swing with the Monodramon and then swing with the Dark Tyrannomon for game. So guys, that is going to be game. Which of these starter decks are you looking forward to getting when these do drop in the English format? Let me know in the comments, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.